All right. We got we got sound on the back end. Looks like we got a couple people in the audience. Hello, Nicole Jewell. How are you? Hey, Lost in Paradise. How you doing? Well, before we get going, let's start this off right. Ladies, gentlemen, pronouns. Lend me your ears. It's Monday night and we're live. Yeah, it's been an interesting week this week. Oh my God. I've been busy all week long doing all kinds of different stuff. Didn't have a whole lot of time to record too many videos. I got a couple of them done, but I had all kinds of other things that were taking precedence and just, one thing on top of another on top of another. Put my air conditioner in, and then my brother come over on Friday and locked us out on the balcony again. I had to jimmy up a way to get back in. Oh, what a pain in the butt that was. I almost threw him off the balcony. Yes. Mama Come Quick is coming out on Mother's Day. Now, the monetization of it's an escrow, so there might not be ads on it, but it's there. And what that means is the money is being held until the dispute gets settled. So if I win the dispute, the money comes to me. If they reject the dispute, they get the money. So that's the way that kind of stuff works. Um, my dad actually, yeah, I'm doing a little bit better now that the weather's starting to cooperate. This week or last week, oh, we are getting like 70s, 80s for weather. This week we're getting mid to high 60s, low 70s. So like we're loosening up a little bit. Feel a little bit better. It's just when it's really really cold and then goes really really warm for a day or two and then goes back to being really cold again. That's when my muscles just tighten right up like a drum. Like it's almost like my muscles tighten up so tight that I couldn't pass a needle through he couldn't pass a needle through my butthole with a frickin' jackhammer. So yeah, it's just one of those. Hello, Kiki and Jasmine. How are you doing? All the way from Ireland. Yes, give yourselves a round of applause. Yeah, I just when my brother locked us out on the balcony, I was tempted to throw him over. I was really tempted. Just grab him, what? And toss him the key and say, "Let me in," because I told him 100 times, "Don't shut the big patio door. Leave it open just that little bit." Yeah, we did a live stream. Well, it was a little while ago. RJ and I, and yeah, we had a lot of fun on that. After a while, all of a sudden, all the viewers dropped right off. There was nobody chatting, nobody in the audience, and I was like, "Yeah, dude, let's shut this down and just shoot the breeze behind the scenes." He got into talking politics, and then all of a sudden, it just derailed right from there. I was like, "That's one of the reasons why you don't talk about politics, man. Don't talk about politics." Yeah. Um, what else has been going on? Oh, my brother brought this new game for game night over. Hello there, Tammy. Brought this new game. Um, like every other week, my cousin has a game night. Um, he's the only one left in his family. Like his mom, his dad, both his brothers are all passed on, and so now he's feeling left alone. So we get together every other week and we play board games and cards or whatever like that, and just to kind of keep his spirits up a little bit. So we're sitting there. My brother brings over this brand new game. It's called Lords of Waterdeep. It was fun right up until they decided to try to make some new house rules. Have you ever had that happen where you're playing a game and somebody's like, "Oh, we ought to make a house rule of doing this, or a house rule that you can't do that," and then you're like, "Let's just play the damn game." You're like, "Come on, let's go," and we're all just learning it, and they're trying to make up new rules. I'm like, I don't want new rules. I want to learn. I want to learn the rules that are here. Um, yeah, but it was actually quite an interesting, fun game. Like it it takes a little bit to get used to, but it was actually quite fun. If you ever get a chance to play it, knock yourselves out. You'll have a good time. Once you get the hang of it, you'll have a little bit of you'll have a good time. Um, got Mother's Day coming up this weekend. So this weekend, my mom's like, I'm not cooking on Sunday. So I'm gonna be doing some taco meat. My dad's gonna be getting some cheese and some stuff to go on top of the taco stuff and some shells, and we're gonna get together, and the three of us are gonna put on this spread for my mom. And so we haven't had tacos at home. I got the family dinner for a while, so I figure tacos ought to go over pretty good. Um, so yeah. I'm also thinking about making, and this could be, my mom might not like it so much because she's kind of that, you know, on the watch borderline diabetic. Um, so like she's really, really careful about the sugars that she eats, and she's been maintaining her A1C and everything like that. Mother's Day was in March in Ireland. Interesting. So I was thinking about making a cheesecake to go along, but that might be a bit much. Like that might be too sweet for her. So I gotta think about another dessert. So um, what else we got going on here? Yeah, I've already got the Father's Day video done. It's scheduled for June the 16th. Um, that one there is um, George Strait, Forever and Ever and Amen. Or not, Love Without End, Amen. I keep getting those two songs mixed up. I don't know why. Um, so that video is already done and scheduled. It's in the lineup. What else we got coming down the line? Um, I got some videos like um, some videos ready to react to. I got them. I got them ready. I got them half done. I just got to do the reaction, edit it, and fire it off. The biggest downfall is the whole copyright thing. Some of these copyrights, I can't understand it. Like some of the copyright companies, they block it in like 2 or 3 territories. Some of them block it worldwide. Yet you got the same video on YouTube. Like how like the rhyme or reason behind the whole thing is just totally weird to me. So like it, why they block it completely is just beyond me. Like I know the one video I did, um, Funky Town by Lip Sync. Um, if you actually watch that video and you blow it up full screen, you will see some provocative things in that video. And it's like, I can see why that one's blocked. Like there's scenes where you can see a little bit of extra skin through see-through fabric, so to speak. So, and then Cher's "If I Could Turn Back Time" when she did that video on the battleship, I could see why that one there got shot down because her outfit on that was not something. If I was the outfit guy, that's not going out on the frickin' battleship when you have thousands of men who haven't seen a woman in months, and you got to put a beautiful woman like that dressed in duct tape and fishnet stockings on the battleship to sing a song. Oh hell no! Let's just throw safety out the window. Yeah, that was. I can see why that video got shot down. But other ones like um, the Aaron Tippin video that came out this week that I did this week. You got to stand for something or you fall for anything. It has a great message. There's that one scene near the end of the video where the little boy is being tempted by two bad dudes in a car to sell drugs, and the kid's like, "No, I don't want none of that shit." That was blocked for a month. Hey, how you doing, Gordon Freeman and George Perry? I'm doing all right. We finally got some nicer weather. I got the air conditioner on. So if you hear that thing buzzing in the background, hey Andy, how you doing? If you hear that thing buzzing in the background, it's because I can't afford a quieter one. So yeah. Aside from that, yeah, I love that song. I love that song. It's got great meaning. Like I was talking to my dad one day, and he was asking me about the channel, and I was like, the one thing that I want to showcase on my channel is you know music and songs and groups and artists that have inspiration or have a deep message to give through their craft and promote that. So, like songs like, you got to stand for something or you fall for anything. Um, songs like uh, Dolly Parton's Coat of Many Colors, like she had nothing, but that's why she was so proud of that jacket or that coat that she was given. When you have nothing, something is better than what you had, you know. Those are the kind of inspirations and those kind of stories that I want to showcase and promote on my channel. My dad said, "What about Brooks and Dunn? I believe," and I got to get the words to it. So this way, here I know I'm going. I know I'm going within the confines of what they're actually talking about. Like I love that song. I've really taken a break from YouTube, unsubscribed from a lot of channels over the past week. Just too toxic. I had a moment of clarity, so to speak. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta, like go through and just hit the unsubscribe on a whole bunch of a whole bunch of channels, and yeah, just to clear out the clutter. Because sometimes you get to those channels where it's like, do I really visit that channel anymore? No. Why? Go take a look at one or two of their pieces of content and say, that's why. Yeah, uh, the, uh, the group that I follow, Fourth Impact, they have their live streams on. They had a live stream on Friday and Saturday, from like 9 o'clock on through. So if you want to really check out some really good entertainment, that's the place to be at 9 o'clock at night, Eastern Standard Time. On Friday and Saturday night. They're having a show in Denver. So if you're in the Denver area, they have a concert to go to in the middle of June. Check their channel. Continually check their channel for the date and location for that particular venue. I don't know the particulars offhand. So, and they also have a show coming up in Las Vegas. I think they have a show coming up. Yeah, they still got a show coming up in Las Vegas. I can't remember what day. I think it's in July. So if you're in Las Vegas or Denver, hey, there's a couple of places you can check out to go have some really good wholesome entertainment. Um, what else can we? Um, yeah, I won't be singing. I don't sing. Uh-uh. I got no filters, so that's why my friends like to take me to places to go react to stuff because they think I'm funny when I react to stupid shit. So I got to get a coffee. Oh, thank heaven for wireless mics. But yeah, I still think about that time when my buddies took me to that karaoke bar about 25 years ago. It was something. I'm sitting there, and I know I don't sing very well, and they bring me in there, and all of a sudden they start feeding me beer, and apparently the bartender was getting ready for my first vacation. 14 years in the East Coast. Oh, nice. Apparently the bartender was sneaking in some I believe I can sing drug in there because after about two pitchers of beer, all of a sudden I find myself up at the DJ booth requesting a song. Kenny Rogers, the Gambler, and the way, if you know that song, the way it goes is on a warm summer's eve on a train bound from nowhere. I met up with a gambler. We were both too tired to sleep. I made it to the second line, and people started throwing popcorn at me. I was singing so bad. And by the time I even got anywhere close to the chorus, people were leaving. By the time I got to the chorus, the place was empty. And this little Chinese guy that owned the bar, who just opened it up that weekend and just basically fresh off the boat, comes up to me. He was pissed. He rips that mic out of my hand. He's like, "You're singing so badly, you make everybody leave." And right away, I'm sitting there laughing in my head. I wasn't laughing out loud. I was laughing in my head. I was able to hold it back because in the back of my mind, I'm imagining myself being bitched out by Elmer Fudd, and I'm just waiting for him to go, silly rabbit. And so we get kicked out of there. We grab our coats. We get kicked out of there. We get down the road, down the street a few block or a few places. and the there was a comedy club getting ready to spool up for the second show for the night. I had to go to the bathroom, so I was like, "Hey, let's go in here." So we go in there. We go into the comedy show. Pay our tickets, and I go to the bathroom, standing there doing my thing. And all of a sudden, this dude pulls up, and I'm still laughing about what happened just a few minutes ago. This guy's like, "What are you laughing at?" Now, so I told him. 10 minutes later, I find myself in the middle of this comedy club, and this same guy's on stage trying to open the show with what I told him in the bathroom. I stood up and I was like, "Hey, you read my material or roll?" Got yelled at again. Yeah, it would be great to see Carlos Santana playing guitar for Fourth Impact. That would be fun. I think Fourth Impact is just one. Yeah, Vegas has shows going every night. Like, um, Vegas is a big venue, but personally, I think know, making it all about Pinoy will only bring the Pinoy audience. You need to bring American audience. You need to advertise to more than just a Filipino community. You need to advertise to the American population, not just the Philippine American population. And Gabriel Iglesias said one time, and I will quote him on this every day of the week. Gabriel Iglesias said on one of his on his Hawaii show, he said that when he was starting out, they would promote him as Latino comic, which in a lot of people's minds meant that he's only relevant to Latino people. By promoting yourself to Pinoy or Filipino people, you're saying that you're only relevant to Filipino people. That's not the case with Fourth Impact. When they do their live stream, there are people from all over the world in those live streams enjoying their show. How can you say that they're just for the Filipino community? You can't. So don't promote it just for the Filipino community. Promote it for the entire population. And he was saying that all the different places that he would go were only in the one section of, yeah, hopefully this is just one of many dates, but I hope they understand that if you want to play for the American population, you got to promote to the entire American population. So Gabriel Iglesias was saying that his promoter would only promote him to places in Latino areas. And it wasn't until he got a different promoter that promoted him way up north and promoted to a really big venue and filled the place. And all of a sudden, all these other promoters were like, "Oh my God!" There was this guy by the name of Iglesias that filled a bunch of stadiums, that filled a bunch of theaters, and his name was not Enrique. So until they dropped that Latino comic, he wasn't getting booked hardly anywhere. Once they dropped that, man, he was all over the place. He actually had to go all the way to Iran, like Iraq. He was in Bahrain, Dubai, all these Middle Eastern countries. He went all the way around the world, and then he was finally called an American citizen. Uh, I agree with you, Paul. Their streams are quite a bit better when they're in their studio because they have more room and they can belt as loud as they want and they can make as much noise as they want in their studio. In that little house, the acoustics aren't as good. They gotta tone everything down, and then they got neighbors. So that's one of the reasons why their live streams are a whole lot different than they were back in the Philippines. Like just think of yourself when you were going to school. When you said something out loud in one of the classrooms, everybody heard it. You say something at that same level in a gymnasium, you may have to say it again, but much louder. Yeah, yeah. I think Bob Dylan set that in motion. I think Bob Dylan was the one who had the police eye on that one. Yeah, it's kind of hard for the girls to make any music videos in the states because the prices are so much higher. Like you got to remember, the American dollar is more than 50 times what their peso is worth. So they're paying 50 times right away, and then the cost of living is 100 times what it is in the Philippines. So they're paying an extra 100 times what things are worth in the Philippines. So it's costing so much more for them to be in the United States to do like videos and whatnot like that. So yeah, they made two and they were in the United States, and you can almost imagine how much those cost. Like I know they said something that Ben Bowling fronted some cash for a bunch of, or for some of the videos or some of the costs of the videos, and they tried to keep within that budget. But you got to look at when they spend say $5,000, that's 25,000 pesos, or actually that's 250,000 pesos. I've seen Bob Dylan a few times in concert. Absolute genius. Of man memories. Yeah, yeah. The guy was an amazing artist. Yeah, 50 pesos is $1. So when you got to pay 50 times what you got to pay 50, like your dollar or your unit of currency is only, you got to put 50 of them together to get one. Where the country you're working at, it's going to eat your bank account up big time. Yeah, like right now, I think Canada dollar is like 72 cents, something like that. So like, we got to pay an extra 28 cents per dollar. So like when it comes to the exchange rates and everything like that, like when you come from a country like the Philippines and you go to like the United States, when you're looking at a 50-to-1 ratio, man, that is tough. Like, yeah, I can do that. I'll uh, I'll send you the link for afterwards there, Paul. Hey, John, how you doing? But yeah, the the uh, the ratio is just, I can almost imagine how much that almost bankrupts them. Like, like you pretty much gotta, you know you gotta depend on your YouTube channel, if you're gonna really freaking pull something like that off, and then hope like hell you can get a few shows to supplement that. Like I wish the girls the best of luck. Yeah, one Canadian is 41.86. Like, even for a Filipino to come here, it's gonna cost them a fortune. It's gonna look like it's gonna cost them a fortune. Like, yep, cups up. But yeah, the um that 1 euro is almost 62 pesos a euro, and yeah, euro and dollar are very strong right now. Like, I couldn't imagine a Filipino going to the UK or anywhere in Europe. The European nations, 62 to 1. Like, even for like Canadians to go to Europe, man, that's, we're looking at that. We're like, yeah, we're like 48 or something like that. It's almost 2 to 1. Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine. He was telling me that since King Charles has taken office, the Canadian Mint has made only 100,000 Canadian quarters with his face on it. Let's do the math. There's 42 million people in Canada, and the minimum wage is like 15, almost 16 bucks an hour. Okay, it takes 4 quarters to make $1. They made 100,000 quarters, not $100,000. They made 100,000 quarters with King Charles's face on it. There isn't even enough for one each. Like, can you tell me that you can't tell me that the Canadian Mint isn't behind? You get paid in the euro and the pound, and yeah, those are two very strong currencies. Always have been, always will be. Um, yeah, it's nuts. Um, uh, yeah, yeah, you're not going to see a coin with it. You're not going to see a coin in Canada with his head on. They're going to be all under lock and key. The collectors have already eaten them up. Um, the same guy, we were talking about pizza. this, this was funny. We were talking about pizza and how much pizza we could eat. I was like, yeah, I could eat, like, pretty much a medium pizza and a couple slices, of crazy of garlic bread. So he's sitting there going, well, I can only eat like 4 or 5 pieces. I'm like, okay, it doesn't go by pieces. It goes by the size. You got your smalls that are 10 inch. You got your mediums that are 4 inch. You got your larges that are like 14 inch. Or your mediums are 12 inch. Your larges are 14 inch, and your extra larges are like 24 inch. Okay. Now he's sitting there going, he's like, well, how many pieces are in the medium? I'm like, it doesn't matter how many pieces are in the medium. It's only going to be 12 inch. I said, I could cut that into 16 pieces. How many pieces are you going to eat? Like, how much of that piece, that 14-inch pizza are you going to eat? Can you eat the whole thing? Or can you only eat like a quarter of it or a third of it? I can cut it into 100 pieces. The pieces are going to be this big. I was like, okay, so if I made a 24-inch pizza and cut it into one piece, can you eat the whole thing? He didn't understand it. He was like, no, how many pieces are you going to cut it into? I said, one. Oh, no, he's not doing that again, is he? I think I know the one you're talking about, Kiki. We have a Pizza Hut here in my city, and if you drive by it, there might be one car in that parking lot. Might be. You never see any cars. I don't know how this place stays open. Actually, I heard that he moved back to like Illinois or something like that. If we're talking about the same, let's not get into that. Let's not get into that. No, no. I don't care how funny it is. No trashing other YouTubers. Metro Foods. Oh, now we used to have this Delicio pizza in Canada, and it was oven ready. You put it on a pizza stone, you stuff it in the oven for 28 minutes, and then you're done. You cut it up, you eat it up. I used to love those, and 5 toppings for only $16. That's not bad, but they quit making it and they replaced it with this Rustica. Oh man, that dough tastes like absolute. Oh, it's just nasty. That's just my opinion. I tried a few of their Rustica pizzas. I can't stand them. Um, like my opinion is based good for me and me only. And if you agree with my opinion, great. If you don't, great. But like it just goes along with the fact that I don't like Starbucks. I don't like Starbucks coffee. I can't stand that stuff. I drink Tim Hortons or I drink Maxwell House. And oh, here's a funny story that happened on Tuesday. I went grocery shopping with my dad, and we go at the beginning of we go basically the end of the month every month when I get my disability check, pay my bills, and then I go grocery shopping. So he picks me up, and we go out to Walmart. I get a whole bunch of stuff there, put it in the car. He goes to start it up, and it's tick 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 tick. And I'm like, oh shit! I got all kinds of frozen stuff, and all of a sudden he can't start the car. So he calls up CAA, Canada or Auto Assistance. So this guy on the other end is like, it's going to be 193 minutes before we can get somebody out there to boost you. And my dad's like, 3 hours? Holy smokes! I was like, nope, I'm going to Timmy's. Hey, Ding, how you doing? Yeah, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, folks. So I bust off to Tim Hortons. I pick up 2 cups of coffee and a 20 pack of Timbits. Get back in the car, and I put my phone on. Get my phone on YouTube, and we're listening to some Doctor Hook. And my dad's the one who introduced me to Doctor Hook. We're sitting there just kind of bebopping along to the Doctor Hook songs on my phone. All of a sudden, his phone chimes up, and it's like the guy who's going to come over and boost. He's going to be there in 10 minutes. I was like, cool. So I went outside and I had a cigarette, I'm sitting there having my coffee. This dude comes over in an electric car. My dad's like, well, you brought enough big enough battery. So he's sitting there. He does a few diagnostics things on the car, and he come up with the same thing that my dad and I have been saying the entire time. The battery's pooch. And my dad and I are both mechanically inclined. We just don't do that shit anymore. So he boosts us, and then we head straight to Battery Boy. Was getting Timbits from the missus. Nice. We head straight to Battery Boy. The guy that over there, they were like, "Oh, you're in luck. Bay 2's open." So my dad drove it into Bay 2. The guy changed battery in about 15 minutes. Then we get back on our way and do the rest of our grocery shop. And we're laughing about it because like that 193 minutes went by so fast. But it wasn't really 193 minutes. It was more like 3/4 of an hour. Like it was only about 3/4 of an hour that we had to wait for this guy. And it was like just surprising that just the chain of events. He started it up in the morning. You come pick me up. We drop off at Walmart. We do our stuff. We come back. Click, 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 and it was just dead. You went and got the new battery. Had it installed. Off we took. Yeah, it's almost time for me to end this. I found an interesting site for some new fonts that I'm going to try out on my thumbnails. So keep an eye out for that. Free fonts, you can use them for whatever you want, as long as you're not charging people for the you're not making thumbnails and then charging people for those thumbnails. If you're using them for personal use, great. But yeah, it's let me get it. It's called 1001 free fonts.com. Copy. I'll put the link in the chat, so anybody who wants to use it, go there. I'm not being paid to promote them or nothing like that. I just saw their site and I downloaded a few, and they've got a ton of fonts that are really cool. Yeah, so if you're looking for some new fonts for your for spreadsheets or whatever like that, hit that up, use them up. The only way I found to use them was in Paint. Just Paint works like Microsoft Paint. Do up your little banner and then use it as a sticker for another program. But yeah, they got a lot of really cool looking fonts. Like the font that I used for this thumbnail that we got here, weekly catch up. That's where I got that font. I thought it was pretty interesting. So you're going to see some new fonts in my thumbnails. What else can we go talking about? Um, oh, we got a new door system in my building. I've been asking about it for about 15 years. Finally got it. Um, Now you just type in a code, or you look for the person's name uh, on the list, and then you hit call, and it goes to your phone. Well, now my neighbor decided I'm her new freaking doorman, and anytime she locks herself out or walks out without her key, she calls me. I'm like, I'm not your doorman. Don't call me. Not at 5 o'clock in the morning. Not at 10 o'clock at night. Don't call me to let you in. Remember your damn key. Have you ever had a movie in your mind that you've watched before? You're going, man, I gotta watch that again. I've like every now and then I get, like clips of movies in my mind that I've seen before. And I'm like, I can watch that again. That was a fun movie, or that was a really interesting movie. I really, really like this plot line, and whatever like that. I get that a lot. One of the movies I've been freaking having a clip playing back and forth in my mind was, and put a one in the chat if you've ever seen the movie Arthur with uh, Dudley Moore and Liza Minnelli. That was one of my all-time favorite movies. My mom and dad actually let me watch that when it first came out. I was pissing myself laughing when I saw that. Some of the dumb shit he did when he was drunk. I was only about 14 or 15 when that movie came out. It can be painted, Nicole. Yeah, he played that role so well. Like, and that's I actually found, and I'm going to be doing a reaction to it soon. I actually found the soundtrack, like a video for that soundtrack, with the original artist singing the song and Dudley Moore playing the piano. So I'm gonna, when I found out, I was like, oh, awesome! Peter Cook. Yeah, I'll check that out. Um, I got to get a new Fire Stick or a new streaming box or streaming utensil. Because the one I've got, it buffers like crazy. Like it's just buffering too much, and I don't think it's fast enough to keep up with the higher demand or higher video uploads. So it's one of those things. He's got to keep up with the times, or he's basically going to have nothing to do. Neighbor got so drunk last Monday she fell down in the kitchen and couldn't get up. Yeah. Uh, yeah. White SUV or white vehicles are a whole lot are really, really, really easy to keep clean. Here's the trick: don't drive them. Oh, where's where's some of those? Um, I used to have a black Ford Probe, and that thing got dirty like you wouldn't believe. And I used to work like where I used to work when I had that car was they had a dirt. uh, parking lot, and the delivery trucks would just roll up and down there. You didn't even have to drive on a dirt road to get the damn thing dirty. It would just be caked in dust every day. After a while, you just hope that it rained just to let it, just to get rid of some of the layers. But yeah, I think I'm gonna shut this down. It's been 51 minutes, and I think Paul wants a few words with me. Copy that. So there's the link for you, Paul, when you get ready. So I'm going to wish everybody peace, love, and happiness. And I hope everybody has a wonderful week ahead. And we shall see you all. I love you all.